Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I feel like I have not done one of these videos in so long, but I looked on my channel and my last one was actually in February, which was really not that long ago. Also, I'm liking my little bunny buns today. You know, I really like it. I think it's gonna be my go-to summer hairstyle. But yeah, if you saw that title, I am doing a book haul today, but this book haul is a birthday book haul. So if you didn't know, which I really didn't post about it, but my birthday was this past Saturday on April 13th, and guys, I had a wonderful birthday. It was so relaxing, so peaceful. As I get older, I'm realizing I just love the chill birthdays. I had a nice little dinner, and then I had a brunch the next day. But yeah, it was just spent like how I wanted to spend it. I spent it with my friends, and yeah, I get to see my family soon. I get to go home and see them. But yeah, I felt so loved, and if any of them are watching this, thank you guys for making that day so special for me. But of course, I had to come with the annual book haul, birthday book haul. I've only done one in the past, which was last year, and so last year I turned 25, and so this year I turned 26, and my thing was like, I want 26 books for my 26th birthday. So that's what we have here. We have a mix of books I bought, books I was gifted. So yeah, we're gonna get into it because 26 books is a lot of books. But yeah, so without further ado, let's just go ahead and hop into the video. Guys, so starting out, I actually went out of town earlier this month. I went to Louisville. I actually went for work, but of course while I was there I had to find a little bookstore. I've been really interested in like finding like independent bookstores and like finding like special edition copies that you really wouldn't find anywhere else, or like you would find other places, but it's just the thought of getting it out of an independent bookstore. You know, let's support the indie bookstores. So the first book I got was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I got the Puffin and Bloom edition. I saw it on Amazon, but I was like, you know what, this is so cute, let me just grab it out of this store. And it was actually, the store is called Carmichael's Bookstore. So cute, like I just love the vibe of the store. And so yeah, I saw this, and I, don't judge me, but I have not read Pride and Prejudice, but once I saw this cover I was like, okay, I'm convinced to read it, but also I just need this cover to display on my shelf. So yeah, that is the first book, and then it has a little quote on the back. So absolutely obsessed, cannot wait to display it on my bookshelf. I really want like a bookshelf where like it's just like a display bookshelf, but right now I don't know where I would put that. So we'll see. We'll see. Next book I got was Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney. I actually saw this one on TikTok. Oh gosh, I can't remember her name right now, but she does some really good book recommendations, and so this was one that she read. And yeah, it just like looked so cute. You guys know I'm trying to get more into like diverse authors, and just reading, you know, more African American authors, just authors of color, because you know sometimes you just relate more to the characters, me being a person of color. So yeah, I absolutely love this. Like her review of it, if I'll say, it just says, I embrace that I'm not all good either. As far as I can help it, church girls won't be me, not anymore. And so it's about a preacher's daughter, and I actually love little like, if you guys don't know, but the little BET movie Preacher's Kid or Preacher's Daughter, I love those kind of movies. So when I saw her do a review on this, I was like, I think this is gonna be my cup of tea. So we shall see. But yeah, super excited to dive into it, and so happy that I was able to find another Black author. And then the next book I got was The Wishing Game by Meg Schaffer. I've been seeing this all over Goodreads lately, and so Target which it worked out perfectly. Target had a sale the week of my birthday, which was buy two get one free for their circle week, and I was like, well, this is just, if there's any reason, this is the reason to kind of splurge on books, you know. So yeah, this one I think it's like fantasy, but I saw V.E. Schwab's little like blurb on the front, and y'all know I love V.E. Schwab's writing, so anything that she promotes or says is good, I am gonna read it. Like I'm gonna go for it. So yeah, this one just says, years ago, a reclusive mega best-selling author quit writing under mysterious circumstances. Suddenly he resurfaces with a brand new book and one-of-a-kind competition offering a prize that will change the winner's life. So sounds interesting. And I've been trying to like just, you know, dive into like different genres, which I guess like this is definitely like some kind of fantasy, it looks like. But yeah, I'm just trying to, you know, go for books that I normally wouldn't go for. Like that's what we're trying to do here. So super excited for that one. Like I said, I've been seeing it all over Goodreads, and the reviews look pretty good. So the next book I have is 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. If you guys don't know, Holly Jackson is the author of the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I've read the first one. I do still have to finish the other two. Y'all, I don't know why I keep putting it off. I just like, I feel like I love the first book, but I'm not like itching to read the second and third one. Like I do want to read it, but I'm not itching to read it where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to know like what they do next. It's just like the first book was like, it ended the story, and it's like, well, if you want to read the other one, so I do want to read them, but I actually think I may dive into one of her other books first, because I don't know, it's just kind of hard for me to pick up the second one right now. I did try to do the audiobook, and it was good, but it was like, I just feel like I'd rather read the physical copy of it. So that's where we're at with that, but that does not mean I cannot read her other books. So I got 5 Survive, and this one, it's 8 hours, 6 friends, and then 5 Survive. So it says Red Kenny is on the road for spring break with 5 friends: her best friend, her older brother, his perfect girlfriend, Red's secret crush, a classmate, and a killer. When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, they soon realize this is no accident. They've been trapped by someone out there in the dark, someone who clearly wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape or figure which one of them is the target. But is there a liar among them? Buried secrets will be forced to light, and tension inside the RV will reach deadly levels. Not all of them will survive the night. And this seems like a high stakes like thriller, like it seems like you're gonna be on the edge. So I'm super excited to read this. That's kind of the thrillers I've been like in the mood for. Not like, I have not been in the mood for like a thriller that like lingers on and on. Like I need to be at the end of my seat, like, you know, that's kind of the thrillers that I'm in the mood for. So Holly Jackson, I'm hoping you deliver, girl. I love The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so we will see. And then the next book I got was also by Holly Jackson, which this one I've been seeing everywhere. I've been seeing YouTube reviews, so I'm just like, let me just grab this. So it's The Reappearance of Rachel Prince. Also, like I said, also by Holly Jackson. I really don't know what this is about. It just says lights, camera, lies. 18-year-old Belle has lived her whole life in the shadow of her mom's mysterious disappearance. 16 years ago, Rachel Price vanished and young Belle was the only witness, but she has no memory of it. Rachel is gone, long presumed dead, and Belle wishes everyone would just move on. But the case is dragged up from the past when the Price family agrees to a true crime documentary. Belle can't wait for filming to end, for life to go back to normal, and then the impossible happens. Rachel Price appears, and life will never be normal again. There's still like 2 more paragraphs, but I'm gonna stop there. I don't want to know what else. I want to read, and I want to figure out what happens from there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to read these 2 before I go back into The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Also, I have the little novella that goes to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I can't remember what the title of it is, but yeah, hopefully we will dive back into that series. Let me know if you guys have finished the series. I believe, it is turned into a show, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's turned into a show, because I think they like revealed the casting. So let me know if you finished the other 2 and what do you think of them. Like, is it really worth it to go back? Like, is it something like I need to prioritize, or, you know? So This one is called One Day by David Nichols. I actually saw Sarah Caroli. She read this in one of her reading vlogs, and there's actually a Netflix show about it too. And I wanted to watch a Netflix show, but I'm also at a point where I'm like, I want to read it first and then watch a Netflix show, so I can, like, you know, see which one I like better. So yeah, it just says 20 years, 2 people, and from my understanding, it's just about these 2 people who continue, like, they read every day for the same day every year. They meet up. Yeah, over 20 years, snapshots of the relationship are revealed on the same day, July 15th of each year. Dex and Nam face squabbles and fights, hopes and missed opportunities, laughter and tears, and as the true meaning of this one crucial day is revealed, they must come to grips with the nature of love in itself. So my only thing is, I don't know if they, like, only meet that day every year, kind of like how, like, the November 9th thing with, like, From November 9th by Colleen Hoover, or are they, like, continuously together and we're just focusing on that one day each year. So we'll find out that. Yeah, but I'm excited to read it. I love November 9th. I love that kind of thing where, like, they have this one day. So we will see what that is about. Bridesmaids for Hire by Megan Quinn. This just is like the perfect little summer read. Yeah, I just wanted, like, something cute, and I feel like a lot of Megan Quinn books give, like, summer vibes, at least her covers do. But this one says, sometimes the wedding of the century calls for desperate measures, and sometimes those desperate measures are to pretend the person you hate most is actually your boyfriend. So it's about an event planner who's ready for vacation. Looks like one day she runs into her brother's best friend and also her sworn enemy. She's vowed to stay away from the man. That is until she finds out he's on the island for his boss's daughter's wedding, hoping to use the trip to win a real future at the company. Maggie promised herself she wouldn't even think of work on the island, but as word spreads about the wedding of the century taking place in the midst of her vacation, she realizes offering her service as a bridesmaid and planner could bring her business to the next level. The only catch, she needs to pose as Brody's girlfriend to get the job, which means hand-holding, kissing, and sharing the same one-bed bungalow. So we got a little one-bed trope. You already know one-bed trope. So, oh my gosh, we have a lot of things. We have fake dating, one-bed trope, which those two kind of always go together. But then you also have brother's best friend. So, super excited. It's, how many pages is this? 430 something pages. So that's, okay, it's a little thick one, a little thick little rom-com. So we will see what it's like. But yeah, I'm super excited to dive into this. Like I said, Megan Quinn, her covers are just always giving summer vibes, and so with summer coming up, I'm just like, it's time. Okay, but next I have Expiration Dates by Rebecca Searle, and I've also been seeing this one everywhere on YouTube and TikTok, everyone talking about it. I didn't even realize I knew she was the author for In 5 Years, but I did not know she was the author for One Italian Summer. And One Italian Summer is actually on my summer TBR, which I'll do a whole nother video on that, of like my summer spring TBR list. But yeah, so I picked it up because I saw it everywhere, and I saw that she was the author of In 5 Years, which I have In 5 Years and have not read yet. But this was just a very, well, a lot of these were impulse buys, but this one was very much an impulse buy. Like, every time I went on Target, I just kept seeing it pop up, and I just kept, honestly, I think I kept putting it down because it seemed like it was so expensive. Yeah, it's $27, and I was just like, I don't know if I want to pay $27 for a book. But when they had the sale, it made it worth it. Like, I was like, okay, it's your time to get it. So yeah, I really couldn't tell you what this is about. Let's just see. It says, being single is like playing the lottery. There's always the chance that with one piece of paper you could win it all. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna read. But the back does have, it says, a magical trip worth taking, a story about love, loss, and that point in adulthood where we learn our parents are human too, and not always. Oh no, that's praise for One Italian Summer, y'all. Okay, this one says, romantic gem grabs you on page 1 and never lets you go. Y'all, honestly don't really know what this is about, but like I said, it was an impulse buy. It's okay. It was for my birthday, so we're not gonna dwell on it too long. But then the next book I have is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida. Y'all know I'm not gonna pronounce her last name because when I read Ace of Spades by her, I refuse to butcher her last name. But since I loved Ace of Spades so much, I saw that she had a new release coming out, so I could not wait to get my hands on it. And yeah, her books, like Ace of Spades was like academia, but also like there was like a mystery element to it, which I really liked. Like at first I thought I was going into kind of like just a YA like school setting like thing, competition, but it turned out to be like this really cool mystery story. So yeah, I'm super ready to dive more into her writing. And this one just says, it's like I keep stumbling into a dark room searching for the switch to make things bright again. Sade is starting her 3rd year of high school, this time at the prestigious Alfred Nobel Academy boarding school after being homeschooled. Misfortune has been a constant companion throughout her life, but even Sade doesn't expect her new roommate Elizabeth to disappear after Sade's first night, or for people to think she had something to do with it. With rumors swirling around, Sade catches the attention of the girls collectively known as the Unholy Trinity, and they bring her into their fold. Between learning more about them, especially Persephone, who Sade is inexplicably drawn to, and playing catch up in class, Sade already has too much on her plate. But when it seems people don't care enough about what happened to Elizabeth, it's up to her and Elizabeth's friends, Baz, to investigate. And then a student is found dead. Oh Lord, let me stop. Y'all, if y'all have not read any of her writing, I highly recommend you read it. Like, when I say I loved Ace of Spades so much, it just completely caught me off guard, and I can just tell this one is just gonna be even more like, I'm so excited to read this one. So I will probably be pushing it up to the top of my TBR soon. But then the next one I have is by Leigh Bardugo, The Familiar. I'm pretty sure you guys have probably seen this book advertised somewhere. She is the author of The Shadow and Bone, and then the Six of Crows duology, which y'all know I did a 24-hour reading vlog for the Six of Crows duology. Absolutely fell in love with that. It reminded me so much of one of my favorite Netflix shows, Money Heist. And so Hellbent is on my TBR cart, so hopefully I get to that one soon. But yeah, I really liked her style of writing, and I was just like, you know, let me grab this while it was on sale. And also, I'm not gonna lie, for some reason the cover gives me Wednesday vibes. Like, I don't know, is it just me? Like, does this give Wednesday vibes to you guys? Like, I don't know, something about it just gives Wednesday vibes. And so I love the show Wednesday. So yeah, but it just says fate can be changed, curses can be broken. In a shabby house on a shabby street in the new capital of Madrid, Lucia Cotado uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil and a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers that the lump of a servant covering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Lucia use those gifts to better the family's social position. So this just seems like, I really don't really know what I just really read, to be honest with you guys, but yeah, we're just probably gonna go into this one blind. And I also didn't realize that the pages were sprayed. I'm loving the spray pages. Like, come on, it's a vibe. It's a vibe all the time. Who's that? Who sings that? Is that Krishan? Did Krishan sing that? I don't know why that just came up in my head, but yeah, so that's the other book. And then next I have Love Radio by Ebony Liddell. I also saw this one on TikTok, and I saw it on Bookstagram. One of my book besties, she loved this book, so I was like, you know what, let me grab it. Amazon had it. It was like super cheap, so I was like, this is even better. It's cheap, and I got it the next day. So yeah, and it has a little blurb in the front by Jasmine Guillory. I love Jasmine Guillory's writing. I cannot wait to read more of her books. But this one says, Prince Jones is the guy with all the answers, or so it seems. After all, at 17, he has his own segment on Detroit's popular hip show, love hip-hop show, Love Radio, where he dishes out advice to the brokenhearted. Prince has always dreamed of becoming a DJ and falling in love, but being the main caretaker for his mother, who has multiple sclerosis. Why can't I not say that word today? And his little brother means his dreams will stay just that, and the only romances in his life are the ones he hears about from his listeners. Until he meets Danny Ford. Danny isn't checking for anybody. She's focused on her plan. Senior year, score a scholarship and move to New York City to become a famous author. But her college essay book keeps tripping her up, and acknowledging what's blocking her means dealing with what happened at a party a few months ago. And that's one thing Danny can't do. When the romantic DJ meets the ambitious writer, sparks fly, Prince is smitten, but Danny's not looking to get derailed. She gives Prince just 3 dates to convince her that he's worth falling for. 3 dates for the love expert to take his own advice and just maybe change 2 lives forever. This just sounds like this is going to be like such a good vibes book. It just seems like it's going to be just like all the feels, and yeah, I just feel like it's going to be a good time. I'm super excited to dive into it. And yeah, like I said, I've seen so many good reviews on it, so I'm excited to, you know, see what it's giving. And then I have Rebecca and Delilah's Year of Falling. This is also one I was seeing on Bookstagram. And it's by Elise Bryant. She's also the author of Happily Ever Afters, which I have not read that book, but maybe I need to add that to my TBR if I love this one. But this one says, Delilah always keeps her messy, gooey insides hidden behind a wall of shrugs and yeah, whatevers. She goes with the flow, which is how she ends up singing in her friend's punk band as a favor, even though she preferred to hide at the merch table. Reggie is a D&D dungeon master and self-declared blur. Is that Dungeon and Dragons? Yeah. He spends his free time leading quests and writing essays, critiquing the game under a pseudonym, keeping it all under wraps from his disapproving family. These two have practically nothing in common, meet for the first time on New Year's Eve, and then again on Valentine's Day, and then again on St. Patrick's Day. It's almost like the universe is pushing them together for a reason. Delilah wishes she were more like Reggie, open about what she likes and who she is, even if it's not cool, except it's all a front. Reggie is just role-playing someone confident, the kind of guy who could be with a girl like Delilah. As their holiday meeting continues, the two begin to fall for each other, but what happens once they realize they've each fallen for a version of the other that doesn't really exist? So yeah, another little cute little rom-com, cute YA. So yeah, I feel like it's gonna be another good vibes book, you know. But then the next one I have is a fantasy, is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Cierra, I think is how you say it. I actually saw this on Book of the Month. I think it was like the February or March picks, but I didn't pick it as my Book of the Month read. And so, but I kept seeing it, like TikTok kept pushing this book on my For You page, and I'm like, why didn't I not select this one as my Book of the Month pick? So, you know, for my birthday I was like, okay, it's time for me to finally grab it. And it just says her deadliest enemy or her greatest love. Enemies to lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love, and best-selling authors Kristen Cierra's latest romantic fantasy. So it says, on the night room, life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts, ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, she decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent and gain the intel she desperately needs by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. He's a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter, loyal to the revolution, and too late, Rune realizes she might be falling for him. Seems like it could be good. Seems like it's like I said, a lot of high stakes. Rebecca Ross has read it, which y'all know I love me some Divine Rivals. So yeah, I am excited to read this one. Like I said, I like kept seeing it everywhere on Book Talk, so finally got it. Okay, I had to start my camera back. Okay, so we're like halfway there. I think we're we're almost there, y'all. Okay, so the next one I got is Let Them Burn by Camilla Cole. I saw this one in Target but passed it up, and so then once my birthday came, I was like, okay, you can grab it on Amazon. So it says, there is nothing that Farron won't do for her sister. Farron can channel the power of the gods. 5 years ago, she used her divine magic to liberate her island from its enemies and dragon riding language empire. But now, at 17, Farron is all powered up with no wars to fight. She's a legend to her people and a nuisance to her neighbors. When she's forced to attend an international peace summit, Farron expects that she will perform tricks like a trained pet and then go home. She doesn't expect her older sister, forming an unprecedented bond with an enemy dragon, or the gods claiming that the only way to break this bond is to kill her sister. As Farron's desperation to find another solution takes her down a dark path, and Alara discovers the shocking secrets at the heart of the Langlish Empire, each must make difficult choices that will shape the other's lives as well as the fate of their world. So I like this, like a little sibling little thing. It's a little different because it's not like, you know, enemies to lovers. It's like more so like family related, which you don't really, I feel like you don't really see a lot of that in fantasy books. I feel like it's always more so like enemies to lovers or like romance. So it doesn't look like this one has romance. Looks like, you know, it looks like it's more so like, what's the word I'm trying to look for? I don't know the word I'm trying to look for, but it seems different, so I'm super excited to try to dive into it. I also really love the cover. The cover is honestly what caught my attention, so we will see how that goes. But then next I have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book in like the, I don't know what the world is called, but the first book, oh, why can I not think? What's the name of the first book? The Stolen Heir. So it's a Stolen Heir duology. So this is the second book in the Stolen Heir duology. I haven't read the first one. I do have it, but I need to read it. But it says, an imprisoned prince, a vengeful queen, in a battle that will determine the future of Elfhame. Prince Oak is paying for his betrayal. Imprisoned in the icy north and bound to the will of a monstrous new queen, he must rely on charm and calculation to survive. Actually, I'm not going to read anymore because I don't want to ruin the first book. This is for Stolen Heir. But yeah, let me know if you've read this duology. What do you think? I have not read anything by Holly Black. But I have been like saying I want to read her writing for so long. When I first got into fantasy, people kept recommending her, so I just never end up getting to it. So hopefully this is the year that we finally dive into her writing. Like I said, I've heard nothing but good things about her writing, so yes. We're at the last stack, guys, so we're almost there. But the next book I have is How to End a Love Story. Y'all, this book has like dominated like book talk, bookstagram. Like, I have been seeing this everywhere, and so I was like, well, Jasmine, you know you gotta get it. And there's actually a little blurb by Carly Fortune, which I love her writing. I loved not Meet Me at the Lake. What's the one before Meet Me at the Lake? I'm drawing a blank right now, but Every Summer After. I love that one. Is that what the title is? I hope so. But it just says, I was hooked on the very first page. Gorgeous writing. Don't miss this one. And it says, Helen Zhang hasn't seen Grant Shepard once in the 13 years since the tragic accident that bound their lives together. Now a best-selling author, Helen pours everything into her career. She's even scored a coveted spot in the writer's room for the TV adaptation of her young adult novels. And if she can hide her imposter syndrome, surely the rest of her life will fall into place. LA is the fresh start she needs. After all, no one knows her there except Grant. We're gonna stop there. We're gonna see what this gives. But yeah, I am definitely gonna be reading this one. I'll probably read it in a reading vlog, and then I'll do a full review because, like I said, I've been seeing it everywhere, so I definitely want to share my thoughts on what I think about it when I do read it. Let me know if you've read it and what did you think about it. But next I have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is on my 24 books for 2024. So this is definitely one of my highly anticipated releases. Y'all, I love the Chestnut Spring series. Literally one of my Roman empires. Like, I devoured that series. Like, that series will always have a special place in my heart. So of course I was so ready to start her new series. I do have the Gold Rush Ranch series, which I need to start, but y'all, this is probably going to be my next pickup by Elsie Silver when I get ready to read A Small Town Romance. But it says she's been driving him wild for years, the good kind of wild, the bad kind of wild, but mostly the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. Y'all, these best friend, I'm actually reading like a best friend's brother's best friend. Y'all, these siblings best friends be getting me. Like, I'm excited. And anything, like, it's Elsie Silver, so like I just already know it's gonna hit. So yeah, super excited. But then I have Canadian Boyfriend by Jenny Holiday. It says he's not Canadian, he's not fake, he's Canadian. And Abby Jimenez has a little blurb on here. And y'all, I just finished Part of Your World, and at this point, anything Abby Jimenez recommends, anything she writes, I am gonna read it. Like, I cannot believe I went that long without reading Abby Jimenez books. Like, literally obsessed. I am obsessed. I cannot wait to start Yours Truly this month. Like, oh my gosh. So when I saw her little forward, I was just like, say less. But it says fate brings together a ballet teacher and a hockey player in this big-hearted novel by best-selling author Entertainment Weekly calls The Master of Witty Banter. So once upon a time, teenage Aurora meets a hockey player at the Mall of America. He's from Canada, and soon he was the perfect fake boyfriend, a get out of jail free card for all kinds of sticky situations. I can't go to prom. I'm going to be visiting my boyfriend in Canada. He was just what she needed to cover her social awkwardness. He never had to know. It wasn't like she was ever going to see him again. Years later, Aurora is teaching kids dance classes and battling panic and eating disorders, souvenirs from her failed ballet career, when pro hockey player Mike Martin walks in with his daughter. Mike's honesty about his struggles with widowhood helps Aurora confront some of her own demons, and the two forge an unlikely relationship. There's just one problem. Mike is the boy she spent years pretending was her Canadian boyfriend. The longer she keeps her secret, the more she knows it will shatter the trust between them. But to have the life she wants, she needs to tackle the most important thing of all, believing in herself. So this just seems like a good vibe book. We're gonna see, you know, ballet and hockey. We already know a good hockey romance is gonna always hit. And I love when ballerinas are in books. It's so funny. I'm actually reading a ballerina hockey romance right now, y'all. Anyways, so next I have The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. This is the second book after the cheat sheet. I have not read the cheat sheet yet. I've read the When in Rome series, so I am super excited to dive into this. I love Sarah Adams writing. Her books just make me blush. My cheeks be hurting. Like, I be giggling, kicking my feet. Like, she just makes some of the cutest like romance books, and I will forever be obsessed. So I am going to start the cheat sheet soon, so then I can go into the rule book. Y'all, it's Sarah Adams. Like, come on. It's just, she gives the perfect like summer romance books. They never fail. But this one it's a sporty second chance romance. So Nora's entire career lies in the hands of famous NFL tight end Derek Pender, who happens to be her extremely hot college ex-boyfriend. Nora doesn't end things as gracefully as she could have back then, and now it has come back to haunt her. Derek is her first client as an official full-time sports agent, and he's holding a grudge. Okay, and it's football. I did say NFL tight end, right? Yeah, so it's football. Y'all, I love football. I've only read like 1 or 2 football romances, so I love a good football romance. I wish there were more out there. But then I have The Partner Plot by Christina Forrest. This one, y'all, this one has been on my wish list for so long, and I was so ready for it to release because I kept seeing so many good things about her writing. And so this one, it's a second chance romance. Looks like there's a Vegas wedding. y'all. She's also the author of The Neighbor Favor, which I have that one. Super excited to read that one also. But it looks like she's a successful celebrity stylist, and he runs into his they were high school sweethearts, if you will. So they ran into each other on a birthday trip. Okay, but yeah, it looks like they're, you know, there's a wedding in Vegas. I wonder if it's a like drunken night, or is it like, you know, the sparks were flying because they hadn't seen each other. Yeah, we will see. But I'm super excited to read this. Like I said, I've heard really good things about Christina Forrest's writing, so literally I'm excited. I feel like this stack that we're going through right now, I feel like this is like my summer stack. This is like my summer romance stack, because next book is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and y'all already know I just literally said anything Abby Jimenez writes I'm gonna read. And of course I had to grab her new release. I actually have a few beach trips coming up this summer, so this is definitely going to be one I take on the beach with me. So yeah, y'all, I don't know what Abby Jimenez put in that book, Part of Your World, but I literally devoured that book. I devoured that book to a point where like I'm just like, I was still thinking about it days and days later, and I'm like, I just really like want to relive that book. Like I was ready to go back and reread that book like a day after I finished it. That's when you know it's good. So super excited to dive into this one. It just says 4 dates, a kiss, and a breakup. That's all it takes to find their soulmate. That's all I'm gonna read. I'm stopping there. I'm stopping there because I want to go in blind. Y'all, I love Abby Jimenez writing. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this woman puts in her books, but it's so good. It is so freaking good. And like, I am so ready. I'm so ready. I could just read Abby Jimenez. I may do like a week reading Abby Jimenez books. Like I have her other trilogy. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. We'll see. But if you can't tell, Abby Jimenez has definitely made it to my top of the author list. So but then next I have Wild River by Laura Pavlov. This is the second book in the Magnolia Fall series. The first one was a boxing romance. I think this one, also all Laura Pavlov's books are small town romance, so I love to always have a good small town romance on deck. Also all her books are on Kindle Unlimited, so perfect. Right now I'm still making my way through the Lark Cove series by Devney Perry, but I do think I'm gonna dive back into Laura Pavlov's writing once I finish the Lark Cove series. But yeah, it's a small town enemies to lovers, boy obsessed, found family, standalone romance. Okay, we got all the little tropes going on in here. It says, Ruby Rose declared me the enemy before I had the chance to defend myself. I may be an attorney, but this girl has appointed herself judge and jury, and I've never minded a good verbal sparring. There was a comfort in going battle against the evil queen. Maybe it's just the recognition of one damaged soul to another, but the more we fought, the more I craved her, until our arguing turned into a bit of a wager. One I am determined to win. One time, 60 seconds, a secret only we would share. I work my magic and she declared me the winner. I gloat, she'll sulk. That was my plan. She was determined to prove me wrong, but from the minute we crossed the line, there was no turning back. She was so far under my skin, I couldn't think straight. Feeling things that I've never felt before was one thing, but knowing the clock was ticking was another. Ruby Rose may have given me more than 60 seconds, but she wasn't offering forever, and now my world doesn't work without her in it. And how do I convince her to stay when she already has one foot out the door? I don't know if this one is like a siblings thing like all the other ones are, because like the Cottonwood Cove series, it focused on like each sibling. So I haven't read the first one yet, which I said is a boxing romance, so this one may be siblings. I'll have to check. But yeah, like I said, Laura Pavlov, like her small town romances are like so good to just have on deck when you're reading like other books, especially when you're reading like fantasy. honestly, when you're reading anything, I always have a small town romance going on my Kindle. And some of my favorites are Laura Pavlov, Devney Perry. I do want to start Catherine Cowell soon. I have a few of her books, and there's a few other authors I just can't think of offhand, but those are like my top 3. Like when I think of small town romance, like Kindle books, like those are like some of my go-tos, like to have, like, you know, on the side when I'm reading other things. But then next I have the 3rd book in the, I don't know what this series is called. What is this series called? Let's see. It does not say, of course it does not say, but it's the 3rd book. Yo, I really don't know what the series title is, but it's this one is Between Never and Forever. And it says, as my best friend's brother, Dex Hardy has always been my downfall, older, forbidden, and completely irresistible. Our paths were never supposed to cross, but they tangled during those summer nights where we exchanged forevers and I love yous under the stars in secret. He knew it had to be that way, yet he betrayed our relationship the moment he made it public, so I left him brokenhearted in order to save us both. Years later, to help my family financially, I signed a 6-month contract to perform with the Black Diamond Resort and Casino. It should be easy, but Bex Hardy is now the cold, ruthless billionaire tycoon who owns it. He wants revenge. When he finds out I have a ring on my finger, he makes his own deal with me. Leave a man I don't love and get engaged to him instead, or else. 6 months of calling Dex my fiance, even if it stares at me with hardened eyes. 6 months of ignoring his electrifying touches and pretending I don't love him when I still do. The problem with faking this engagement is I'm starting to believe in forever with him, yet as more truths come to light, my fiance may never want that with me again. Okay, I still need to read the first 2, but I am excited to dive into this series. That's why I've been like grabbing them like as they come out, because I'm like, I want the full series before I dive into it. So yes, super excited, y'all. Okay, we're almost, so we got 3 more books, y'all. So next I have Kate by Tate James. This is the 4th book in the Madison Kate series. I think it was my Valentine's Day when my book shopping is when I first started grabbing the books to this series, because they got traditionally published by Bloom. So yeah, I have all 4 books, so I will be starting this. It's actually, the first one is on my TBR cart, so hopefully I end up picking it like with my TBR jar pick soon, so I can dive into this series. But I believe this is a dark romance series. Yeah, I believe it's a dark romance series. I remember reading the first book. I think Hate was like she came home and she had like stepbrothers or something. I think that's what this is about. But yeah, super excited to dive into this series. Like I said, I had it like on my wish list, and so once they got traditionally published and were in Barnes and Nobles, I was grabbing them. So yeah, but then next I have Redeeming 6, which is the 4th book in the Boys of Tommen series. Taming 7 just came out today, and it's actually supposed to be delivered like 10 p.m. tonight. So I'm ready to dive into this series so much. Like, Taming 7 is the newest release, but she did get traditionally published, and so she has been like getting this is like the 4th book that was already released that needed to get republished. So yeah, Taming 7 is like the 5th book that's actually a true new release. So yeah, I think I've said this before, but the floppiness of these books get me. Yes, I have Binding 13 on my TBR card. I have been seeing it everywhere once again, probably with the new release of Taming 7 coming up, but literally I've heard only good things about this series, so I am super excited. I know Destiny loves this series. Also Julie, I don't know her booktube name, but on Instagram it's Books with JB, and she has been going through this series, and she has like been like all her quotes and stuff she's been posting, I've been falling in love with it. So I'm super excited to finally dive into this series. It's also on my 24 books for 2024, so they are a little thick. I have like other copies, like other versions, but when I read them, I'm definitely probably gonna be reading this version, because they're like this print, because they're just more, they seem more friendlier as far as like the feel of the book, you know. Oh shoot, 1 second, that just fell. Okay, last but not least, I have the Heartstopper Volume 1. Y'all, I have been like seeing this everywhere like for the longest. You guys know there's like a TV show that's about it, and I don't know, I just like never really thought, like I kept seeing it, especially like when I was going in Target, and I just never really like showed interest to it. I don't know, I guess, I don't know, I just didn't know really what it was about. But I finally was like, let me just see. I looked on Goodreads, and like I was seeing like so many good reviews about it. People were like, it was so cute. And I remember when I first searched it though, I saw that like it was like a comic, and I was like, well, I don't know, like I don't think that's really my vibe. But then I was like, well, is this just like a certain version? Like I was like trying to find like if there was a version, there was like a regular book, but turns out this is like the book. It's like a comic. And so I did download the sample on my Kindle, and I was like, oh, this is like so cute and like so interesting. It's like it was so different because like you just got to follow along with images. And yeah, so I was like, you know what, let me just go ahead and buy the first one and let's go from there. But yeah, I just love like the comics. Like it's just like, it's kind of like giving nostalgia vibes like when you used to read like the comics in the paper. So yeah, I am super excited to dive into this. I don't know if I'll watch the show. We'll see. If I like the comic, then obviously, you know, I will go into the second one and third. I think there's 5. Is there 5 total right now? So yeah, super excited to dive into Allie. Is it Alice Osman? I think that's how you say her name. Alice Osman. So yeah, like this series has been everywhere, and I'm like, okay, it's time to cave, Jasmine. It's time to finally dive into it. But y'all, we made it. We made it through this list. We made it through the 26 books. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know if you've read any of these books. What are your thoughts, or if you want to read some of these. But yeah, I love you guys, and thank you for watching. And seriously, if anyone's watching this who sent the book, who gifted, or who even sent the happy birthday, like the fact that you guys took that time out just to say happy birthday to me means the world. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for that, and I cannot wait to see what the rest of this year holds, see what I do when I'm 26. It feels weird. It doesn't feel weird. It's like the last year of my mid-20s, so yeah. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.